and everybody came together in an isolation kind of headspace, and they looked at their sort of like houses and their property and went, after like 18 months, what the fuck am I doing looking at that grey wall for? But in that process, when people were like isolated and thinking of things, a lot of stuff happened in the world that wasn't reported, which was business as usual for a lot of the world companies and the major players that are across continents, i.e. the last company that made a shitload of money, more than ever, out of a pharmaceutical deal that we're still having to pay for and will do for generations. But that's a side issue to the actual sort of bullshit that goes on within Australia and the first world and the third world by the first world and the second world by the third and the first world about resources and how they can manage the planet. Unfortunately, in this process, a lot of people up there and around here has forgotten that the planet is a living organism that needs to survive and will survive with or without us. And so in our quest to find out who we are and what we stand for, we'd like to say stop in the name of something that you might find reasonable, because your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren living in glass towers will still get fried by the shit that's frying us. We won't be able to get out, but they won't be able to come back, and then if they go somewhere else and colonise another planet, they'll do exactly the same thing. So please stop, or the world will stop us. And that's not such an unrealistic thing to think of, considering what's happening over in East Australia at the moment with the weather patterns and the fact that the Great Southern Forest will be gone in 40 years because it's getting too fucking wet and they ain't used to that kind of shit. Again, another side issue to the reality that we live in a first world that rapes and pillages and has done for a couple of thousand years, if not longer, and at some point the cycle has to switch the other way. But we hope that people inside their glass towers will sort of open up their minds before some stones, not by us because we're peace-loving people, but some people in the world nowadays like throwing stones, and glass is very brittle. It's a silicon, it's a sand, and that's another issue, the rape of sand in the world, but that's a whole fucking Woodside, please stop. Think of our children and your children and the future. Thank you. Woodside, stop! Stop! 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 Woodside, stop!